right, good morning, everyone. We are continuing on the topic of that pre-qualification. We're going to continue to move forward with that topic. So we've covered quite a few points month to date. We're going to continue to break it down. We're going to get into some role play today. So if you guys have any
Recording in
questions, you guys are
progress.
welcome to, of course, ask them away. For those of you that are joining us over on YouTube, Instagram, and of course, Facebook, welcome. But I am going to encourage you to come over and join us over on Zoom, as it's going to allow us the opportunity to interact a little bit better and, of course, be able to see the actual script here in just a minute. So let me go ahead and get to my notes. While I'm doing that, is there any questions that I can address out the gate? All right, let's pick up with where we left off. If you do have a question, feel free to just simply ask away or type it in. We'll go ahead and get those questions addressed. All right, so we've, of course, been talking about pre-qualification. For those of you guys that are joining us for the first time, what are we talking about? We're talking about taking more listings. Okay, we're talking about taking more listings. We're not necessarily talking about the buy aspect of things. Now, we also talked about identifying who we should be looking for. We should be looking for, ideally, people that have to sell versus want to sell. I know it's easier said than done, but it allows us the opportunity, which we're going to get into a little bit deeper in regards to how we can differentiate the have tos versus the want tos. Another thing, spend more time pre-qualifying. Okay, spend more time pre-qualifying because it allows us the opportunity to be able to build a deeper rapport with those sellers. Okay, we're not talking about rapport from a direction of like, oh my gosh, I love your curtains. Right? That's not what I'm referring to. I'm talking about getting in, having them understand with what it is that we're trying to accomplish. The other thing I mentioned is I do want you to keep your pre-qualification script with you at all times. And I get it. I understand. We do have the availability, the accessibility to be able to have it on our phone, our tablet, our computer, all of these other things. I'm going to encourage you to continue to do that. But I'm also going to ask of you to have it printed. Why is that? Because every once in a while, you're going to find yourself without connectivity. You're going to find yourself, oh my gosh, I didn't realize my tablet was in charge. All these things. Sales kit. In that sales kit, you should have it in your car. And in that sales kit, you should have, of course, a listing contract. You should have a purchase contract. You should have your pre-qualification. Okay, anything that is going to give you the opportunity to bind yourself with that particular client. Okay. Now, we also talked about creating some minimum standards in the pre-qualification. Minimum standards in the pre-qual. We want to make sure we're asking 100% of the questions. I'll tell you this, because every coaching client has done this where they don't like a specific question in the actual pre-qual script. And sure enough, you go on an appointment 2, 5, 7, or 10, and you just keep chugging away. And all of a sudden on that 11th, the 14th, the 17th, the listing appointment you go on, because you didn't ask that question, why didn't I ask it? And that's the one that bites you in the butt, and that's the reason you don't end up taking the listing. What is that question? I don't know. Okay, but there's always going to be that question. Perfect example is going to be, are you interviewing other realtors? And initially they go, initially you're like, well, they didn't mention anything about interviewing other realtors, so I'm not going to even ask them that question because I think I'm going to plant that seed. Nope, that's not the case. Then you go on the actual appointment, and guess what? We're going to think about it. We spoke with another realtor. We're thinking about interviewing somebody else. My spouse actually has a niece or a nephew that's also a realtor, and we wanted to give them a shot. And then, ouch, right? We find ourselves in that position. All right, now let's move on. The other thing in regards to minimum standards, I went back to a little bit about the have tos versus the want tos. The minimum standards, what it's going to allow us to do, example right now, in today's market, is it easy or is it a little bit more challenging to get a listing sold at this moment?
Challenging.
Yeah, it's a little bit more challenging. The average days on market, is it going down or is it going up?
Going up.
Yeah, going up. And as we continue to move forward, as we continue to get deeper into the holiday season, is that number going to go down or it's going to go up? You guys see what I'm getting? Yeah. So what we're doing is we need to create some version of minimum standards. And when we do that, we want to make sure that we're not just simply taking any listings, because if you take listings that don't sell, guess what? You start to build that reputation. And you don't want to be known as the agent that doesn't sell listings. Okay, trust me, my competition, okay, would constantly use these numbers against me. Hey, yeah, Robert sells a lot of properties, but did you see these properties that expired? Did you see that these properties were canceled? And of course, when you're working large scale, you can pull any numbers, so on and so forth. But those are some tactics that they're going to use against you. The other thing in regards to minimum standards, how about distance? How far is too far? It's really interesting because now here being in Central Valley, what's it called? I'm seeing agents from LA that's 4 hours away taking listings here, which is crazy. It's mind blowing. Why in the world would you take a listing 4 hours away? Okay, and I get it. We haven't taken a listing in 6 months, so I'm going to do whatever it takes to get paid. I get that, but we start to lower our standard. Okay, and it's really interesting. I want you guys to understand that the pre-qualification is going to give you the opportunity to not take overpriced listings, not take under-commissioned listings, listings that are going to require way too much work. Okay, there's a reason I'm in this position right now with you guys from a coach's perspective. Okay, and I'm absolutely blessed because it's interesting how God works. Okay, it was right around 13, 14 years ago that I was on vacation in 5-star Ritz-Carlton. I'm not bragging, but I was in Puerto Rico. No, I wasn't. Because what was Robert doing? He was in the room, on the phone, getting yelled at for sale by owners, by expires, by the investors, so on and so forth. And I said to myself, there's got to be a way to do this different. Because I started to lower my standard, because I started finding myself in a position of I'm willing to do whatever it takes to take a listing. I became a real estate slut. And so I was taking anything and everything. Okay. You want to sell, you want to buy, I'm your guy. And I started to lower my standards. So that's one of the advantages, of course, of putting yourself in a position where you start to identify what are those standards for you. Okay. Don't take those 2-week listings, 30-day listings. All right. Everybody, we're going to move in the direction of skills as we continue to move forward. I want to work heavy on this because we all understand, or should, based on everything I've talked about, the one way to take listing appointment to listing take, have that go up, meaning clients, when they start with me on an example, they go on 10 appointments and they take 3, 4, or 5 listings. They take 5. That's a 50% listing appointment taken ratio. And it's common because they don't pre-qualify. So from a coach's perspective, we know that there's 3 primary things that's going to allow that 50% to get to the 70 or even the 80% and eventually to the 90%. And those 3 things is, number 1 is pre-qualification. Number 2 is going to be your listing presentation skills. Okay, hope you guys are writing this down. And number 3 is going to be your closing skills. I asked everyone, what do you feel as if though, I don't need to go through that again, but what do you feel as if the other 3 is going to be the one that carries the most amount of weight? It's not closing skills. And it's not the listing presentation skills. It's your ability to pre-qualify. And why? Because in the pre-qualification, it gives you the opportunity to become better and stronger as a presenter. Because you now have the objections, you can sprinkle in here's the reason you shouldn't list with an agent that's going to be charging you less commission. This is the reason you shouldn't do the following. This is the reason, so on and so forth. And as you start to become better in regards to your presentation, because you also have their motivation, your presentation naturally becomes more about them and less about yourself. And as far as closing is concerned, the way that we get to the finish line is being a strong presenter. And as a strong presenter, you don't necessarily have to say anything other than, hey, are you ready? Go ahead and sign right there. That's it. So you know you've done a great job when that's all you have to do. Let me open it up to the audience. I'm going to go ahead and share the script now. Again, for those of you guys that are on YouTube, you guys are over on Instagram, I'm going to encourage you to come join us over here on Zoom. So any questions that I can address while I'm pulling up the scripts? All right. We're going to break down 2 different types of scripts. Okay, the 2 different types of scripts. One of them is going to be and I'll share here with you guys now. One of them is going to be just the standard. mom and pop, two dogs, a cat, a kid, so on and so forth type of people, single family residents, standard pre-qualification. But there's also a second pre-qual, which we'll touch on a little bit, which is going to be that for the investors. Okay, because what's the benefit of making this move? It's not going to work at all for an investor. Okay, what are you most looking forward to? What is your family most looking forward to? It's not going to work for an investor. Okay, but we're going to go over both of those scripts. All right, so let's go and break this down. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in or just simply raise your hand and we'll go ahead and get those questions addressed. All right, Lizette, are you in a position? I want to go ahead and go through a quick little role play. I'll go first. I'll be the guinea pig, and then I'm going to start asking of people to role play. So I'm going to go through this very, very basic. Let's not go over too much in depth or too challenging. I just want to get through it. So here we go. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Lizette?
Yes.
Hey, it's Robert, the realtor. How are you doing?
Hey, Robert. Doing well?
Good. Hey, I promised you I was going to give you a call before we went into work this morning. Can I borrow you for those 5 minutes to ask you those questions?
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
Awesome. I'll be very brief. Let me get right to the point. I want to make sure that if what I say makes sense, you and of course your amazingly gorgeous boyfriend of yours feel comfortable and confident that I can sell your home. Are you guys planning to list your home with me when I come out tomorrow at 5 o'clock?
Yeah, I mean, we're ready.
Okay.
We just wanted to see some numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. Let's get you guys those numbers. Now, I don't want to assume, Lizette, either. You guys aren't planning to interview any other agents for the job of selling your home. I mean, are you?
No, it wasn't really in our plans.
Okay. All right. Got it. And then I know that you mentioned your guys' goal is to stay here in Visalia. What part of Visalia are you guys wanting to move to, by the way?
Yeah, well, we just want to be moving a little closer to North Visalia.
Okay.
Yeah, just getting a bigger place.
Cool. Awesome. So North, and I think you also mentioned Northwest Visalia is ideally with where you'd want to be at.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know you guys were thinking about getting something around a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot property. Is that with what you guys are leaning towards?
Yes.
Okay. Is there such a thing as too much home or not enough home for you guys?
Well, I mean, I think we're about like 1,500 square feet. If
Okay.
we can get more, great at our price point.
Okay. All right. Good. Now, I'm curious. You guys have a great home here. What's the benefit of making this move, by the way?
Well, we're renting, so just finding I'm sorry. No, wait.
Yeah, you're renting that house.
Um,
I get it. You're
I
trying
know,
to get the
right?
property. Let's get back on script. Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, so property sold. I get it. I understand. The townhome is just a little bit small for you guys,
There
as
we
you guys
go.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
Now,
it's too small.
okay, so who's most looking forward to making this move, by the way?
Well, we all are pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah, we're all ready to make a move. It's my husband though. He really just wants to have more space.
Got it. Okay, so basically just a little bit more space, a little bit more elbow room. I think you mentioned to me your townhome, because I'm looking up the information here, is around 850, 900 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely getting a little bit more elbow room. And then I know you have your dog Zoe as well. You mentioned that's ideally wanting some backyard, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, awesome. Well, that's great. Now, as far as time frame is concerned, how soon are you guys wanting to make this move?
Well, we were hoping to do it before the holidays, but if we can do it sooner, that'd be great.
Okay, good. Well, with that being said, if we were to get you guys in there by the holidays, would that be a pro or a con for you guys? Holidays, obviously, Halloween's right. Well, getting you guys in there by Thanksgiving, would that be okay?
That'd be great.
Okay, good. Now, when I see you guys, how much are you guys thinking you're wanting to list your townhome for?
Well, we're thinking about 600
Okay.
around there.
All right, got it. Lizette, as my job, of course, as a professional real estate agent, I mean, I study homes, I study prices. I mean, that's basically with what I do. I'm going to assume that you guys are going to list with me at a price that's going to sell it, that's going to cause it to sell, correct?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect. Is there a number that you guys wouldn't want to go below, by the way?
We're just open right now.
Okay.
We know what we need for our next home, but we have some savings set aside too.
Okay, got it. So basically 600,000 is ideally where you guys want to get to. You don't want to go too far below that is what I'm hearing.
Right.
Okay, perfect. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to you. I'm going to see how much money you guys are going to be profiting from this. How much you guys owe on the property, by the way?
We owe about, we still owe about 300.
Okay, got it. Yeah, you guys are in a great position. You guys definitely have some equity that we need to make sure that we protect. Now, I want to assume you guys are not thinking about even remotely possibly selling this home yourself, right?
No, definitely not. No,
All right.
we work 2 full-time jobs, so it's not our plans.
All right, good. Now leave it up to the professional. I really appreciate that. Now, I know this is a little bit of an interesting question, but I must ask, are you guys in a position where you're willing to finance part of the home for the next buyer, or did you guys just simply want to cash out and take all that money with you guys to the next place?
Yeah, definitely cash out.
All right, perfect. Got that. Okay. And then I do have here it is a 2 bedroom. I do have that it is a 1.5 bath townhome. Besides that, could you describe some of the details of the townhome, by the way?
Well, I mean, like you said, it's about 800. I think it's like almost 900
Hmm.
square feet.
Yeah.
But we've taken care of it over the years, so I mean, I think it's pretty nice
Okay.
still. We're gonna add some paint to it and touch ups, but I think it's in pretty good condition.
Yeah, I know you guys have been there for probably about a good almost 4 years now. Have you guys done any upgrades since you guys purchased it?
We've done some touch ups to like the kitchen, but nothing major.
Okay, nothing major. Okay, so basically just kind of the upkeep, the standard maintenance is with what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Awesome. Hey, Lizette, I really appreciate your time. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be preparing a package of information. I'm going to go ahead and put that together. And what I'll do is I'll get it over to you guys by the end of the business day. Can I get you guys to review it before I come out tomorrow at 5 o'clock?
Yeah. You said you're gonna send it to me on email.
Well, what I'll do is I'll send you a copy via email. But what I'm also going to do is I'll have a full package sent to you, and I'll put it at your front doorsteps. So I'll have one of the members from my team drop that off.
Sure. Okay.
All right, perfect. And then just to confirm, besides you and your husband, is there anyone else that needs to be there to make a decision with you guys?
No, that's it.
All right, perfect. Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, do you have any questions for me?
No, we're ready.
All right, awesome. Well, I promise you it's going to be 5 minutes. We're at 6 minutes, but I just want to let you know that basically our meeting should only last probably around five, no more than about 25 minutes when I see you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, great. All right, Lizette. Well, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock. And of course, most importantly, getting your townhome sold. Let's get you guys over that 1,500 square foot property so we can get Zoe a little bit more room to run around.
Sounds great.
All right, Lizette. I'll see you then. Bye bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, so in this, which I'm going to open it up to everybody as well here in just a minute. In this, what am I going to do next? What I'm basically going to do next is I'm going to prepare a pre-qualification package. I'm going to get this package over to her via email, as I mentioned. I'm also going to get a hard copy sent over to her. Okay. What I'm also going to do, remember, I'm going to call back and confirm within 12 hours. Within 12 hours. Okay. Now, why am I saying 12 hours? Think about it. Today's Wednesday on Pacific Standard Time. It's 7 basically 50. And the appointment's not until tomorrow at 5 o'clock. All of a sudden, Lizette has been are lifing it up and going about their business, and they go out to, hey, let's grab drinks. It's been a long day tomorrow, as an example. And next thing you know, they completely forget about the appointment. Okay, and I show up and I knock on the door. Has that happened to me before? And plenty of times. Okay, not so much them drinking part of it, but just sometimes they just completely forget. Life happens. So I always call 12 hours before, meaning if the appointment is in the PM, I'll call Lizette tomorrow. Lizette, hey, I just want to make sure you guys got a chance to review the packet that I sent you guys. Yes, did you guys get that? Okay, perfect. Hey, just making sure it's still good for tonight at 5 o'clock. Good. We got that? Okay. All right. So let's move in a different direction. Questions, comments, concerns, Sylvia. Yes, we'll get that over to you. Do me a favor. Send me a DM. Are you guys wanting scripts? If you guys want the actual scripts, piece of cake, I'll get my team on that. Just send me a DM, preferably one of two options. One is on Instagram, or you can go to the website, therobertvillanueva.com. All right. So let me open it up to any questions, any insights, anything you want to share with the audience about this. All right, so let's take a look. No questions. Anybody have anything? Any insights? Hey, why did this?
So Robert, great job by the way, you guys. When you're talking about the pricing, what price won't you go below? Do you ever ask what's most important, the amount, sales price, or what you net?
I don't do that simply because when I go and present, I will always and only focus on the net.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I basically will assumptively close from that direction. I'm going to go through and I'm going to show Lizette and her husband comps between 550 and very likely 600. And I'm going to go through, there's 550, there's 562, 567, 589, 593, and 598. Lizette and Robert, what price do you guys feel we should use so we can get someone to buy your home versus the competition? And then they give me, well, I know we did 600, but we were really hoping to get 625. And I go through today. What am I going to focus on? Am I focusing on the actives, pendings, or the solds? I'm curious. Let me get a little bit of feedback from the audience. What do you think I'm focusing on? The actives, the pendings, or the solds in today's market?
Pendings.
Okay, pendings. Anybody else?
Sold.
Okay. Anyone else? We're going to focus on the actives.
Oh.
Here's why. The actives. Here's the reason we're going to focus on the actives in today's market, because when we go out, we're going to go through and present, and I'm going to say, Liz, Robert, hey, look, I totally get it, 625. But here's the thing, though, is we have two properties that we're competing with. One is at 579, and the other one is at 592. The one at 579, remember the number that I gave you here, the date, okay, that's 47. That's days on market. We already know they didn't start at 579. They started at 600. We know that the price of 600,000 did not work for them. We definitely don't want to take that strategy. And now they've been on the market for 579 for the last 2 weeks, and they still don't have any bites. We also have this other property that's just in a little bit better condition because it has the swimming pool. We don't have the pool. We're a townhome. Okay, well, I mean, we have the community pool, but it's a little bit different than the other home that's here. Now, this one here at 592, that one also has been on the market for 38 days, and they haven't sold, nor have they adjusted the price. So last thing I want to do is go on the market. Remember, I asked you, do I have your permission to tell you the truth and nothing but the truth? Okay, and again, remember, this is when we're competing with other realtors. Okay, I understand other realtors are going to tell you what you want to hear. The problem, though, is other realtors, what they do is their tactic is to take the listing and then start to beat you up on the price week after week after week after week after week. I don't want to mess around with that. Because again, Lizette, Robert, your guys' goal is to be able to have that Thanksgiving turkey where? At your new place. And I don't want to waste your time because right now, this one here at 42 days on market, let's do the math. Even if we go on the market this next week on the 15th, goodness gracious, we're not going to be, if we get an offer, we're not going to be in escrow until the middle to end of November. Which means we still have another 30 to 45 days to be able to have to go through the escrow, which puts us in a position of closing around middle of January. No turkey in the new place, okay? No Christmas ham at Christmas, and we're definitely not going to be hosting New Year's party. So that's the reason why we focus on the actives. You guys get that? Okay.
Yes.
So let's take a look. We do have. What if there are no actives, only pendings, or past sales over the last 6 months? The next thing I'm going to go into with what Shelly said is going to be that of pendings. Okay, so I will use the pendings. I get it. I understand sometimes there are going to be no actives to compare to, which is very rare in today's market because I'm going to expand the search to be able to find ideally a active, okay, to be able to use with what I just mentioned. And I guarantee you, there's going to be an active you can use. It might be a half mile or even a mile away, again, depending on your density. Okay. All right, perfect. So questions, comments, observations, anything else? Shelly's asking so that we can go off.
Just put it.
Yeah. So Shelly's asking so that we can go off script verbatim. Okay. Here's the challenge I have with basically with what's being asked so that we can go off script verbatim. When you have the script,
Off the script verbatim, like, because when you said, the objection handle you did, that wasn't verbatim based on what's written in the MFO.
Yeah. Again, we're not MFO. We're MIT. Okay. So Basically, I just want to make sure we're on the same page. This is Robert's program. This is not Mike's program. So in Robert's program, with what we're talking about in regards to this, as far as the off script, here's where I give you guys permission. I give you guys permission when you guys can have the script memorized. When you have it memorized, you guys can go off script. Until then, I want you guys to read it verbatim. You guys need to be able to go to a position where you can go through, for example, and just list a script. Hi, I'm just calling. Hi, let's say my name is Robert. I'm a local realtor. The reason I'm calling is I just listed a property for sale right around the corner for me. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home. We just listed at a great price of $500,000. I was wondering, who do you know likes to move into the area? I appreciate you taking the time to think about it. Tell me, how about yourself? When you plan on moving, how long you've lived here? Where'd you move from? How'd you happen to pick this area? If you were to make a move, where would you go to next? When you can get to that point, yes, that's the moment that I do, and I'm okay with you guys going off script. Until then, I want you guys to read the script.
But I was talking about the objection handling. When the objection is, do you realize the problem that creates for you? Most buyers, won't even look at a price that's over, or I'm sorry, do you realize the problem that creates for you? And then you go into the, most agents will tell the seller what they want to hear just to take the listing. Blah, blah, blah.
That's going to be at the presentation. We won't do that. I never go over commission. I never go over pricing over the phone, especially for those of you guys that have this natural tendency of being a matter of fact. Don't do that in the prequal. That's the quickest. That's the easiest way to not take a listing. Okay. Don't do that until you guys get to the presentation. Once you guys are at the presentation, yes, you guys can go ahead and go with whatever direction. Now, let me get back to the other part of the question, which is basically on the script. We talked about the question between the questions. The question between the questions will always be, number one, for the purpose of clarity. Number two, for the purpose of motivation. Okay? So we're on the same page. I don't want you guys going completely off script. Okay? Once you guys have it memorized, you guys have it down, you guys are more than welcome to add a little extra color and be my guest. Okay? Now, how do you do this? How do you get to that position? The way you can get to that position is just simply record yourself. Okay? Record yourself and then just simply listen to yourself over and over and over again. By the way, I have 2 coaching clients. If you guys are on here, you guys owe me recordings. Okay? So, all right. All right, so we're basically out of time. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get through it. I'm not going to role play anymore for the rest of the month. I want you guys to role play. But let me address any questions, any comments, any concerns, any insights, anything of anythings. Okay.
So if they insist on the, wanting to know about the fee, I just say, well, you know what? And that's great. And that'll be something that we will address. When I see you, just know that the professional fee is always 100% negotiable. Yeah. I just say it just to kind of calm them, or just if they insist.
Yeah, absolutely. So here, let's go through that here real quick. And then Lily, I believe, I'm going to address your question here in a second. So let's role play that. Okay, so I go through any questions that you have, Aqua, and then ask me about commission.
Yeah, everything. I like everything that you said. However, I do really need to know, how much are you charging?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the question, Aqua. What we'll do is we'll go over that tomorrow in detail, because I want to make sure you have all the information before we go over commission. Is that fair? Keep coming.
Yeah.
No. Keep coming. Give me negatives.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you can't give me like a ballpark. I mean, the other agent said that, they gave me a number. They said that they would do it for 1%.
Okay, so 1%. What we're going to do is we're going to go over all of the different details and different options that are going to be available, Aqua. So in that, whether it's 1% on the list side or 3% on the list side or 6% total, I want you to be able to make that decision tomorrow. Okay, so we can go over that in a lot more detail tomorrow in regards to with what we're going to be paying. Now, I'll promise you this, though, Aqua, you're not going to pay me 1 penny more than what you feel as if though I'm worth. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay,
I like that.
But keep it coming. One more. Give me. Can you just give me a number though?
Okay, so I just want you to know that I can't really afford to pay any more than 1%. Just so you know.
Perfect.
So
Okay. Well, I love that, Aqua. And here's the best part about it is that it sounds to me as if what you're trying to accomplish is to profit the most amount of money. Is that correct?
oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over all of the different options, as I just mentioned. And like I said, Aqua, it needs to be a fit for both of us. And what I want to do is I want to be in a position where I provide you the information first before we go over that. Is the option for me to charge you 1%? Absolutely. And we'll go over the options of what I'll do for you for 1%, 2%, and even 3%. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Yeah, and we'll go over all the details. Like I said, I promise you, you're not going to pay me $1 more than what you feel as if though I'm worth.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So in that evasive, but then at the very end, because there are going to be some people that are going to be agitated, hey, can you just give me a freaking number?
Yeah.
I'll give them the
exactly.
number. But that's only after the third one. 80% of the time on that very first objection handler, okay, cool, not a problem.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Thank
All right.
you, Rob.
Yeah. So one last question. Let me address this. Lily is asking over on Instagram. So thank you for the question. As far as the net sheet, do we provide that in the pre-listing packet? If it's within the range that with what I'm wanting, I go through and I pull the comps in the example that Lizette just gave me. I go through and I run comps and it's right in that 570, 580, 600 range. I'm going to send that over to her. Okay. But if all of a sudden she's at 600 and I run the comps and it's like 500,000, no, I'm not going to send the net sheet because the very first thing they're going to do is just simply beat it up in regards from that perspective. So as long as it's within that range, and we'll talk more about it in detail tomorrow because it opens up a little bit of a can of worms. All right, everybody, we're all going to role play. So I want you guys to come. I'm going to continue to work and strengthen you guys in regards to your skill set. So thank you guys for being here today. As always, let's go take a listing or 5 and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys soon. Bye-bye. All right, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. So tune in.